Right. Because at one point, Whack 100 ran a whole story about this. And that's my man, but, you know, sometimes he exaggerates.
He said I got my pockets ring.
Right.
And I told Offset, why you ain't keep it real? This was like, man, what y'all want me to say? You don't understand. I'm like, why didn't you tell what happened? Like, you ain't take nothing from me, you know? But, you know, it is what it is, you know? Back on, just flat out lied.
Right. You said they tried me, but my mom could die if I'm lying. Nobody took a dime from me. He said, Whack 100 is lame for turning them
I
out.
got paid, actually.
Yeah. They paid us to get off their ass. Right.
I ain't gonna leave him out. You know, I'm just real like this, you know, because, you know, niggas be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals, you know, and the truth of the matter is, you know, one can dance and different things in front of these different cameras and all that kind of shit. And when reality, the truth of the matter is, you know, nigga, you wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive. You know what I mean? So for you to be
close personal confidant Cardi B unfollow her husband Offset, do you think it's actually over, or is this just a bump in the road?
Not over. Just talk to Cardi.
Did they refollow yet?
I don't know nothing about that.
Let's check.
I just think maybe her phone's malfunctioning.
I highly doubt that.
Cardi's cool, man.
Yeah. She follows.
Maybe she just wanted y'all to talk about her.
3,389 people. She still follows like Offset Daily, which is some sort of fan account. But
let me ask you something.
She follows Offset YRN underscore fan page.
Let me ask you something.
Offset X Cardi, but not the actual Offset.
So if your wife
unfollows you,
you think it's over? Your marriage is dictated by social media following.
Man, I don't feel like social media should judge their relationship or marriage, but it's definitely some issues there for sure.
In terms of Cardi B and Offset's divorce, Offset is now asking for spousal support.
Something wrong with that?
No, I'm loving it. It's about to be a city boy summer. You know what I mean? Like, listen, because men have been obliterated by women in divorce court for hundreds of years at this point. To see a guy who actually doesn't have as much money as his ex-wife get some money out of it, shout out to man Kevin Federline. I love to see it. In fact, hold on. Let me just say this. I predict that Cassie's husband's gonna divorce her and take that $15 million. You take half of that $30 million, walk away with $15 million, and get child support and alimony.
He's hearing some crazy stuff. He's hearing she was getting hit when he FaceTimed her. Like,
exactly.
He's hearing some crazy stuff. But in the Offset Cardi B thing, what I would like to see is a fair judgment. I don't know how much Offset has children, but if that's the case, then, you know, a lot of that needs to be gauged, you know, when she has the kids and he got to put his time in.
No, child support, he's talking about spousal support, which has nothing to do with child support.
So he's saying, I'll give you that.
No, he wants spousal support, meaning that his spouse makes way more money than him, so therefore he deserves support because he is the spouse with the lower income.
So what if she counters what I want child support?
Well, it depends on who.
Something strange just happened online, and it spread faster than anyone could verify it. Within minutes, social media started exploding with a claim that rapper Offset had been shot in Florida. No warning, no context, just sudden chaos-filling timelines, DMs, and group chats everywhere. And the worst part? Nobody could agree on what was actually real. Some posts said it happened outside a casino hotel. Others said he was already in stable condition. A few accounts even insisted it was completely false and blown out of proportion. But once that kind of headline hits the internet, it doesn't slow down, it multiplies. Because the second people saw Offset and shot in the same sentence, everything else got drowned out. And that's when the confusion turned into panic. But what's actually going on behind these reports is where things start getting even more complicated. As the story spread, different outlets and social posts started repeating slightly different versions of the same event. Some claims say Offset was allegedly injured near a well-known hotel and casino area in Hollywood, Florida. Others are more cautious, saying he may have been hospitalized but is reportedly stable. And that word, reportedly, is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, because there is still no single, fully confirmed narrative that explains exactly what happened, how it happened, or what condition he is truly in. What we do know is that his team has been referenced in multiple posts as suggesting he is okay, or at least not in life-threatening condition. But even that hasn't stopped the internet from spiraling into theories. And the longer official silence continues, the louder the speculation becomes. But there's one detail that made this story explode even further. And it's not just the name involved. It's where people are saying it happened. The mention of a casino hotel changed everything. Because as soon as people heard Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, the story stopped feeling like just another rumor and started feeling like something bigger. That location alone added fuel to the fire. It's a place associated with high traffic, nightlife, and constant public attention. So naturally, people started asking questions. Why there? What was happening? Who was involved? And those questions didn't come with answers, only more speculation. The problem is, once a location like that gets tied to a celebrity incident, like the internet starts building its own story around it, even without proof. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. But while the location grabbed attention, what came next made the situation even more chaotic. Because social media was about to take over the narrative completely. Once the first posts hit X, TikTok, and Instagram, the situation turned into a full-blown information storm. People started reposting screenshots without context. Others began adding their own updates based on what they thought they saw. And within minutes, the story stopped being one story. It became dozens of different versions. Some users were convinced it was confirmed. Others were calling it fake news. And a few were stuck in the middle, trying to figure out what they were even looking at. Then the DMs started flooding in. Have you seen this? Is Offset okay? Bro, what is happening? And that's where things got even more dangerous. Because once panic mixes with uncertainty online, truth becomes optional. But there's a reason this particular rumor hit harder than most. And it connects back to something fans never really moved past. For many people, this wasn't just another celebrity rumor. It immediately triggered memories of one of the most painful moments in modern hip-hop, the loss of Takeoff in 2022. That tragedy shook the entire music world. And because Offset was part of the same group, anything involving violence and Migos instantly brings back that emotional weight. So when people saw his name attached to a shooting rumor, even unconfirmed, it hit a nerve. Not just curiosity, but fear. Fear of history repeating itself. Like fear of losing another major figure, fear of not knowing what's real until it's too late. And that emotional reaction is exactly why this story spread so fast. But while fans were reacting emotionally, online speculation started taking a very different direction. And that's where things get even messier. As the situation trended, new theories began popping up everywhere. Some posts suggested there could be a connection to gambling or casino activity. Others mentioned old rumors about money disputes or debts. A few even tried linking past clips of Offset at casinos to build a narrative. But here's the problem: none of it is confirmed. It's all speculation layered on top of speculation. And that's what makes situations like this so dangerous online. Because when facts are missing, people start filling in the blanks with whatever sounds most dramatic, and dramatic always spreads faster than accurate. Still, even without verified details, the conversation shifted into something bigger than just one rumor. It turned into a discussion about how quickly misinformation spreads when a celebrity is involved, and that leads into the bigger picture. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. A single post goes viral, details stay unclear, and within hours, the internet builds an entire story around it. What starts as a short claim or an unverified update quickly turns into something much bigger. Screenshots get reposted, captions get rewritten, and opinions start getting treated like facts. And somewhere in that process, the original truth gets blurred beyond recognition. And whether the original claim turns out to be true or false, the damage is already done because millions of people have already seen, shared, and reacted to it. At that point, corrections rarely travel as far as the first wave of information. The initial shock spreads fast, but clarification moves slowly. So, even if the story changes later, a large part of the audience is still reacting to the first version they saw. In Offset's case, the lack of clear confirmation made everything worse. Every repost added another layer of confusion. Every opinion turned into news for someone else. One account says one thing, another account says something slightly different, and soon the timeline becomes a mix of speculation, fear, and assumptions. People aren't just reacting to events anymore, they're reacting to interpretations of events. And that's the reality of how fast information moves now. We're in a space where attention travels faster than accuracy. A headline doesn't need to be fully verified to go viral. It just needs to be emotional enough to make people stop scrolling. Once that happens, the story takes on a life of its own, shaped by algorithms, reactions, and repetition. But there's still one question nobody can answer clearly yet. What actually happened? And until that's fully known, everything else is just noise. Right now, the only thing that's clear is uncertainty. There are viral claims, there are conflicting updates, there are emotional reactions from fans all over the world, but there is still no fully confirmed, detailed explanation that ties everything together in a clean or reliable way. Instead, what exists is a fragmented picture, pieces of information that don't fully align, constantly being updated, corrected, or questioned as new posts surface. And that's why this story is still developing. It's not just about one incident or one headline anymore, it's about how information itself behaves in the digital age, how quickly narratives form, how easily they spread, and how difficult they are to control once they escape into the public feed. It shows how quickly a single headline can take over the internet, even before the facts are fully known. And once that momentum starts, it becomes less about verifying truth and more about keeping up with the conversation. And it also raises a bigger question. How often do we react to what we see online before we even know if it's real? And how often do emotions take over before facts even have a chance to surface? Because in situations like this, the truth doesn't always travel as fast as the rumors. In fact, it usually arrives last, after the opinions, after the debates, after the assumptions have already shaped public perception. And until official details are confirmed, one thing stays certain: the internet will keep talking, whether it understands the story or not. And maybe the real lesson here isn't just about what happened, but about how quickly we believe it happened in the first place, and how easily that belief can spread before the truth ever gets its moment to speak. Because in the end, stories like this don't just reveal what's going on in the headlines, they reveal something about us too. The way we react, the way we share, not in the way we sometimes accept information before it's fully confirmed, just because it feels urgent in the moment. So, as this situation continues to unfold, the smartest move isn't rushing to conclusions, it's waiting for clarity, letting facts catch up with the noise, and remembering that not everything trending online is the full picture. And if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's simple. Truth doesn't need to be the fastest thing on the internet. It just needs to be the final one that stands. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more updates and deep dives just like this. Because the next story is always closer than you think, and you won't want to miss how it unfolds.